There is 12 teams in the Scottish Premiership, and today we're going to give you 12 Scottish Premiership crackers that apparently you can sign for nada. Welcome back to Fog Football. I say we're going to give you. It was the Daily Wrecker, or some people would call it the Daily Rebel. But you know what? This is factual information because these guys could be signed for free in January because they will have 6 months left on their deal. Alright, everybody, we're going to start for the top and work our way down. Judging by the thumbnail, I think you can expect those three to be in here. But going in first spot, look how much you have to scroll down just to find it. Greg Taylor is up first. Now, of course, he's won 14 caps for Scotland. I'm not going to read through everything, but I think it would be really poor business by Celtic if they let Greg Taylor go for free. Not saying the guy's a world beater, I'm not saying the guy, is the greatest player to ever grace Scottish football, but he has been consistent for Celtic, man. He's been the best left back in this league for a number of years. In terms of his position, I know, Calvin Bassey, right, but Bassey, he wasn't an all-out left back. He was playing left centre back. Obviously, obviously Bassey's better than Greg Taylor. Right? I don't need to explain that. Look what he's went on to do. Premier League. I know the Ajax spell wasn't that good, but Calvin Bassey's better than Greg Taylor. But apart from Bassey, Greg Taylor has won it all, and he's one of those names that just get flung under the bus when Celtic do bad. Which I think him and Scales, they're just the fall men. Same with James Forrest. It's because they're homegrown and all that stuff, but. It's a shame. Up next, though, we've got Tom Lawrence. Obviously scored quite a few crucial goals for Rangers this season. Dundee United, Hibs. He did score against Leon, but that wasn't really crucial as we got pumped 4-1. But, you know what? I think we've got to get rid of Tom Lawrence because he's only going to get slower and his pace does kill us in the big games. And I think he is easily replaced. But, like I say, you take away his goals this season, we would be sitting on a lot less points. And I do have to acknowledge that. I can't pretend that doesn't exist. But I don't think Tom Lawrence leaving Rangers Football Club would be the worst idea in the world. Up next, we've got Lyle Cameron. Cracking wee player. Wouldn't mind him at Rangers. Again, I don't think he would set the world alight, but I think he'd be a good option to have. Absolutely, and he's only 21. You know what I mean? It's not like McCown, who was a bit older, or like Danny Armstrong, who are a wee bit old. 21. There's a lot of room for improvement there. So I'd welcome Lyle Cameron. Up next, we've got Jamie McGrath, of course, who's got 6 months left remaining. He's been a part of the great start for Aberdeen this season. So for me, what I would say about these four players that have been mentioned so far, I think out the three, Tom Lawrence is probably the most likely to not re-sign. So there's that. But Jamie McGrath, I think he'll re-sign with Aberdeen. Great start to the season. I think Aberdeen should reward their players for that. Anyway, Lawrence Shanklin now. This is one that interests me. Of course, in 2023-24, he netted 31 goals. Now, it's not been that good this season, admittedly. Alright? But, tell you what a player Lawrence Shanklin can be. And the whole Hearts team has been bad at the start of this season. And you tell you what, there's a good handful of players that I would take from that Hearts team into for Rangers as options. So I'm not going to pretend because they're last in the league, every player that plays for Hearts is shite. It's not the case. James Forrest. Again, another guy that gets swung under the bus too much for I say too much for my liking. Personally, I don't really care, but guy is one. See if there was a guy 33-year-old at Rangers like James Forrest, boyhood fan, won countless amount of trophies, and was still playing a decent sized part to the seat. I'd be lapping him up. See you actually flip it. James Forrest is what Rangers fans think James Tavernier is. Well, not every Rangers fan, because I know a lot of people have turned on Tav, but James Forrest has got the trophies to back it up. Yeah, he might not have the moments like James Tavernier's had over the years, but he still had a lot of great moments, don't get me wrong. But James Forrest is the guy that's backed up with trophies. You know what I mean? He's the guy that's going to be remembered. the amount of trophies he's won. James Tavernier's only had, what, three trophies. Night and day. Martin Boyle, again, another decent player, but he's 31. A few years ago, I wouldn't have minded taking a punt on him, but 31-year-old, injury prone. I don't think it is the correct way to go about it. Jack McKenzie, and now if you're watching our Aberdeen career mode, this guy is absolutely on fire. No two ways around it. Good wee player. Up next, we've got Danny Armstrong, of course. He did enjoy a fine season in the 23-24 campaign. But the problem is with that is this season's not been that good. But I would still take him. I would still absolutely take him. 16 goal contributions in 33 league matches is really good, especially for Kelly. Because, if he came to Rangers, you would expect more, but then he's not going to be starting, and you've got to wait. You've got to wait it like that. Up next, you got Toyosi Alazunya. Again, a decent player. And then we've got Eamon Brophy, 28-year-old. I think his stock's just nosedived the past couple of years. It was a once upon a time. I believe this guy this guy actually got called up to the I believe he got called up to the Scotland team, didn't he? Like a good few years ago. But I mean, he's 28, right? But I mean, it even says here like that it's dried up in recent years. Then we've got Glenn Middleton, formerly of Rangers. Is that us? That is us. Yeah, I mean, Glenn Middleton was once a very good player. I mean, Gerrard just didn't fancy him all of a sudden. But again, I mean, I don't think Glenn Middleton would have had much of a future at Rangers. But I think in the 18-19 season, he was very good for us, man. No two ways around it. No two ways around it. He was very, very good. Anyway, guys, that's where we're going to leave this video. 12 Scottish Premiership crackers that can be signed for free in January. Who do you think your club should re-sign up? Who do you think your club should sign? Leave it down below.